October's looking like a banger. We got Travis Scott's hyped up Jordans and potentially another Yeezy day. Of course, there's a ton more, so let's get into the top 10 most hyped sneakers dropping in October. Coming in at number 10, and of course I gotta kick this list off with spook season because Halloween is on the 31st. This year, it seems like Nike is planning a lot of different releases. We've got the Sweet Tooth Dunks, a pair of Dunk Mids, and a pair of Air Forces. I've gotta say, my favorite is probably the Air Force Ones. They actually look pretty solid in terms of premiumness. They're relatively simple. Now the Sweet Tooth Dunks are also kind of cool, inspired by kettle corn. They have that kind of ombre effect in terms of the colorway from white all the way to orange. All three pairs are pretty solid, and knowing Nike, they're probably going to drop on Halloween, which is October the 31st. Coming in at number 9 is a really unexpected one, is the Daniel Arsham Adidas 4D. So apparently these are supposed to have a restock this month, which is pretty wild considering the type of sneaker it is and the collaboration it is. These dropped originally 5 years ago, right at the height and the beginning of the Futurecraft 4D thing for Adidas. They were incredibly hyped up, and to this day, these shoes actually resell for a ton of money. But honestly, I think these restocking is a little bit left field. Like, since then, Adidas 4D technology has declined in hype quite significantly. But who knows? Considering the resale price, there definitely is some hype behind it. Now, another issue with this restock is the fact that they retailed at $400 back when they originally released 5 years ago. Since then, obviously, Adidas has brought the price down on a lot of their 4D shoes to where it's a little bit more regular to a standard pair of sneakers. So if these things come back and they still ask $400 for them, that might be a little bit too big of an ask. Coming in at number 8 is actually a lot more interesting than I initially thought. It's the Stone Island New Balance 991 V2. So these are going to be dropping right around the corner on October the 4th. And the reason why this pair of shoes is actually somewhat of a bigger deal is the fact that the 991 V2 is a sneaker model that doesn't exist until now. It's actually a brand new model. I will admit, I didn't really know that when I first saw this pair of shoes. It does look relatively similar to what New Balance already offers. However, like I said, this collaboration is going to be the first time that this model is introduced. This pair of shoes at least has some very interesting details. It's obviously a new model, and it's got some really cool materials and branding on it, which brings together both Stone Island and New Balance pretty well. October the 4th is going to be the Stone Island website release. October the 18th is going to be the global release through New Balance websites and other different retailers. Coming in at number 7 is the Ambush Airmore Uptempo Low collection. We've already seen the beige and yellow colorway, and I actually got that pair of shoes in. Wasn't expecting too much, but I actually really liked it. Now, like I said, it's a collection, so we've got 2 different colorways going to drop. My personal favorite, the all over black pair, and then the not so my favorite lilac and green pair. These are going to be dropping on October the 6th. They're already loaded up to the Nike Sneakers app, and I imagine a bunch more raffles should pop up in the near future. The sneaker itself is obviously an up-tempo, but it has a much more chunky, low-cut design, which I really like. It almost kind of looks like a retro skate shoe. Coming in at number 6 is a pair of Jordans that literally came out of nowhere, but they are phenomenally detailed. It's the Air Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort 2 Familia. This has got to be one of the coolest Day of the Dead inspired pair of Jordans that I've seen so far. Jordan Brand and Nike has done plenty of different Day of the Dead themed sneakers, but this one just looks so accurate and so freaking cool with the amount of detail on it that I am incredibly excited for them. Things look way more premium than they have any right to be on a freaking Zoom Comfort 2. So as of right now, the release date is October the 1st. Now that is mainly for EU retailers. A couple of them have loaded up their raffles. However, they haven't loaded up to the Nike Sneakers app just yet, and obviously a global release I imagine would happen at some point in October. And number 5 is the Jordan 3 Off Noir. These are lined up to drop on October the 7th. Now, as far as the sneaker goes, there's nothing really too crazy about it. It's not an insanely hyped up collaboration or anything. It's just a very, very solid colorway of a GR pair of Jordans. A perfect colorway for the fall time. It's all over black nubuck or suede upper mixed with that sail midsole, and obviously the elephant print signature to the Jordan 3. Jordan Brand has absolutely killed the colorways on the Jordan 3 this year in a good way. I mean, killed it as in they've made some bangers. This one is definitely up there with one of my favorites, so I'm definitely going to be going for these when they drop, and definitely they need to be on this list. Coming in at number 4 is a pair of shoes that I feel like we just got. It's the Jordan 1 Low Neutral Gray 85. I believe the Jordan 1 Low Neutral Gray dropped back in 2020 or 2021, and that pair followed the retro of the actual Jordan 1 High 85, and now here in 2023 we're getting another Neutral Gray Low, but this time it's an actual 85 cut of the low. Yeah, there might be a little bit of confusion or oversaturation going on here, but nevertheless it's an all over white pair of shoes, Jordan 1 Low. It's clean, and it's going to be in the 85 have cut, so there's definitely hype behind it. Now, these are going to be dropping on October the 25th for, get this, $170. Alright, so you know how we do this. Before we jump into the top 3, I gotta hit you with some honorable mentions, and let's kick it off with the Born and Raised Nike SB Dunk Low. So as of right now, these are supposed to be exclusively dropping through Born and Raised website on September the 28th. Also rumored to not have a Nike sneakers release, and the US skate shops have also apparently been cancelled. So the only other release date other than Born and Raised website as of right now is going to be EU skate shops on October the 6th. Yeezy Day. Is it happening in October? As of right now, and how it's always been when it comes to these Adidas releases of a bunch of Yeezys, they're able to keep it under wraps right until they announce it. Having said that, the two things that we do know is, one, Adidas needs to drop a lot more of their Yeezys. They've got plenty still left in their warehouse. The biggest leak going around is the fact that the Yeezy Foam Runner Vermillion colorway, the all-over red pair, is supposed to drop here in October as well. Honestly, I think another Yeezy drop in October is highly likely and definitely worth keeping your eyes open for. Jordan 1 Mauve is dropping on October the 14th. It's an okay colorway. Final honorable mention, the Adidas and Korn collaboration is going to be dropping on October the 27th. That includes 2 pairs of sneakers and a bunch of different apparel. Alright, top 3 time, guys, and these are bangers. Starting off with the Jordan 1 High Satin Bred. Oh yes, these are going to be dropping on October the 18th. As I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of the story behind this pair of shoes, basically they dropped, I think back in 2016, they were limited to 500 pairs only that were all numbered, so practically nobody got their hands on them. Now, Jordan Brand decided to take that exact same sneaker and just re-release it with a bunch more pairs. Main caveat of this sneaker being that it's only going to come in women's sizes, so bigger sizes you won't be able to fit these. Obviously, it's a Bred Jordan 1 High, so yeah, it's extremely hyped up. One of my personal favorites, and coming in at number 2, is the Chris Paul Jordan 1 Low. These things are phenomenally detailed and look incredibly premium. They're going to be dropping on October the 24th. And as of right now, I'm not entirely sure how limited they're going to be, but given the amount of detail and just how different this pair of shoes is to a standard pair of Jordan 1s, I can imagine they'll probably be pretty limited. If you do have the opportunity to cop these things, the material looks incredible. It's all over kind of pressed with these flower patterns on it. It's a very wearable colorway in terms of just matching with a bunch of different outfits. The outsole is semi-translucent and you can see all of the flower patterns through the pair of shoes. As of right now, hands down, this is one of my most anticipated sneakers for the month of October. Alright, and coming in at number 1 is, of course, the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Golf. After everybody said the Travis Scott was done with Jordan 1s, this pair of shoes popped up. So now I think the general rumor is that this is the last Jordan 1 that Travis Scott is doing. So if you wanted a backward swoosh Jordan 1 Low, this might be your last opportunity at retail. Now, obviously, this is a golf version, so it is modified to be a golf pair of shoes. That certainly doesn't mean that you can't wear these things casually. I personally haven't really tried wearing golf versions of Jordans, but I know that a lot of people are going to be doing that with this pair of shoes. In fact, probably the vast majority. These are going to be dropping on October the 13th. Now, previous Jordan 1 Travis Scott collaborations have been the most hyped shoes. As far as the colorway goes, it's super clean. Either way, it's going to be extremely hard to get. You definitely want to enter as many raffles and obviously be there for the release. So there you have it, guys. Now you're ready for the month of October. Let me know down in the comment section what pair you're going to be trying to grab. Check out that video over there to find out what sneakers I actually wear.